Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 1, verses 18 through 24. And it starts off that this is how the birth of Jesus, the anointed one, the promised Messiah, the one that came from the Lord, took place, how it came about. In other words, how this concretely took place. And that Mary was betrothed. She was engaged, but not yet fully married to Joseph. And then a scandal breaks out. A scandal that perhaps she was unfaithful because she's found to be with child. And yet we're told she was pregnant through the Holy Spirit, that this is the work of God. But that seems way outside the norm. This is not the way it's supposed to be. And that the child is from God. The child is conceived by God. Now for Joseph, this is a disgrace, and everybody's going to lose. He's going to lose face. She's going to lose face. Perhaps even lose her life. And it says that Joseph was faithful to the law. So hear that. He's going to follow the law. God is doing something outside the law. He's getting his wife pregnant before they're married. And so here is the promise is coming. It's not like the law. The promise is outside the law. And what's the interesting part of this is that it exposes everyone to shame in this world. This is a scandalous birth. But after Joseph had considered this, an angel of the Lord comes to him. And the angels are about doing God's work, doing God's mission. And what we really see is that they're looking to where God is leading. And Joseph trusts the dream. He trusts the messengers, the angels from the Lord. And what do they tell him? Don't be afraid. Have courage to follow God. Have courage, in spite of what the world says or the law says, to trust God. And then it says you are to take Mary as your wife. Even though she's a scandalous woman because she's pregnant, it's not really a scandal. This is the child that belongs to God. And she will give birth to a son, and you are to name him Jesus, or Yeshua would be the Aramaic. And what does the name mean? It means he will save his people from their sins. The traditional translation would have been simply that God saves, but Matthew includes that it's saving us from sin. And more than that, this is to fulfill the prophecy that a virgin would conceive. And so Isaiah 7 and Isaiah 8, these are being fulfilled in this scandalous event. And that this child will be God with us. And the amazing thing is that when Joseph awakes, he obeys the Lord. And that's a challenge, I think, as we read this story is, will we have the courage to obey God? Will we have the courage to walk in the gospel promise instead of always the law? And Joseph trusted the promise. He believed the angels. He believed the preaching that had been given to him, that this was from the Lord. And that's one of the things to note too, is that we're told in verse 18 that she is pregnant because of the Holy Spirit. We're told in verse 20 that the child in her is from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is working between the Father and the Son. Well, hey, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.